I was trying to think of like something to give people that they can really latch onto. That's going to be different for every person. So what I think everybody really needs to do, where I've grown the most, what I've gotten the most from, is breaking away from friends, breaking away from Instagram, TV, whatever. For me, it's going camping. I have a couple of valleys back home and places back home. I'll pack my bag, I got everything I need on my bag, and I'll just walk for like 2 to 4 days. And I'll just camp. I got everything I need. I set up camp. I'll just walk. And it's those moments where I'm just away from everything that I can just sit with myself. And it doesn't have to be that extreme. Sometimes it's taking 10 minutes in the morning. But I think when you really get to know who you are, which is only doable when you take everything out and just sit with yourself, that's when you unlock your superpowers. That's when you understand how you can contribute. That's when you can find your passion because you've cleaned out your whole mind and you're sitting there with who you are and trying to figure out what's going on. And with that solitude, with that awareness, you can harness. I wish I could just tell you, like, do this, this, and this, and you're going to find this or you're going to achieve that. Just figure out who you are. That's the first step. Really just take time to be with yourself, befriend yourself, understand what you need, what you're looking for, what you like, what you don't like. You think you know until you spend a little time by yourself, and you can get lost in some holes down there. You're like, wow, I really have no idea who I am. So I think it's really important to connect with yourself all the time, always be reconnecting. And for people who have never really done it, because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there right now listening that can relate to me in this. In high school, I was so distant from who I was and scared of who I was and had so much going on emotionally that I didn't want to deal with. I never sat with myself. I always had music playing or a TV on or was with my friends. I was terrified of being alone. So if you're that, you need to do it. Mm-hmm. You need to separate yourself from everything and get to know who you are. That's when you unlock your superpower. That's when everything starts to click, whether you're at ground zero or you're just missing that one final piece, like those brothers you were talking about. They almost got it. Just spend time with who you are and you'll find that.
Yes. I'm just smiling the whole time you were talking about that because you just explained a lot of what I went through and what I believe to be true. I feel like this is going to come off very blunt and maybe even mean. A sign of a weak person, a weak-minded person, is someone that can't be alone. Mm. And maybe it's just because you're scared, like you said. Mm-hmm. But once you learn how to be alone, and you don't even have to love being alone, just when you can learn to just kind of be introspective and like get what you need from being alone, your life changes. Because you know what, how I summarize what you said is disconnecting in order to reconnect. Mm-hmm. And that was one of my biggest things, or reasons why I joined the Peace Corps, is to get away from technology, social media, all the material greed, all of that. So when you're living in the middle of nowhere for 2 years, getting water from a well, you have no Wi-Fi, you're at home just in silence. Exactly what you feel when you're in the wilderness camping. You ask yourself questions, you answer questions that you've had, you figure things out, and you really find out who you are. Mm-hmm. And that's what happened to me. That's why I can say 100%, I know who I am, I know what I want. Mm-hmm. Nothing's gonna change that.
And I not knowing you, we met one time in Hilo at a concert, which was fun, and you were with that ginger kid. That's awesome.
Markian,
yeah, he was great. What's his name?
Markian.
I follow him on Instagram now. Yeah. He's hilarious.
Yeah,
I love his little series. It inspires me a lot. I was like, oh, that's a great way to do it. He does it. Anyway, that's sidetrack. But I knew that about you just by watching you through social media. Like, I can tell that you've sat with yourself. I can tell that you know who you are. You've done the work. You have awareness of who you are. It's impossible to fake that energy. Either you've put in the time or you haven't. Mm-hmm. And it's easy to tell when people haven't and when people have, and you definitely have. And it's the only way that you can be sitting in that seat and doing what you're doing and have this production, which again, I'm so proud of. I'm very excited about your guys' future. I love the aloha that's going into it. I love what you're giving to Hawaii, and that you're giving a space for people of Hawaii to come and just talk story and to talk about their experiences. I think it's super important for people growing up here.
For sure. Yeah, mahalo. And, I'm just going to fire all those nice compliments back right to you.
Perfect.